Now the meeting is being recorded. Now you shall realize that when we are talking about decision theory, we are talking about making decisions. So when we are talking about decision theory, we are talking about making a decision. And this decision mostly is accompanied with various state of nature. Now, because of those state of nature, there is need to analyze the information. Now, the most important thing that you need to know is that when you're talking about a decision, there must be a selection of various course of action. So there must be a selection of various course of action. And this course of action varies or depends with the various state of nature. So in an economy, you can find that we have this state of nature that, for example, that we have the favorable condition, unfavorable condition, and other conditions which might affect the economy. And it is the role of the decision-making process to make sure that we make these decisions that are favorable. Now, let us start with the word, defining the word decision-making. Decision. So our other notes, you shall find it in the Word document. The Word document that I shared. So refers the process. Refers to the process. Refers to the process. Which result in the selection. Which result in the selection from a set of alternative course of action. Courses of action. Now your definition must have the word alternative course of action. Alternative course of action. For example, now when we talk about course of action, these are the options. When we talk about alternative course of action, these are the options available to the decision maker to make decision. So these are the options. For example, i.e., a producer can choose to produce either pen 1, P1, pen 1, or pen 2, or pen 3. Now, if it's to produce pen 2 and ignore pen 1 and pen 3, that is the alternative course of action that this person has decided to choose. So if we decide to go with the pen 2 and ignore pen 1 and pen 3, then that one is the alternative course of action. All the options, you can also call them the options available. So a set of options available, but we use the word alternative course of action. We use the word alternative course of action. That one is okay. Now, from your definition, you need to incorporate. You need to incorporate the word selection from the set of the alternative course of action. Alternative course of action, these are the options available. Now, that course of action selected, or considered, that course of action selected or considered must meet the objective, must meet the objective of decision making problem more satisfactory. Now that decision. Now, for example, we have three course of action, that is either produce pen 1, pen 2, or pen 3. Now, if this person tries to produce pen 2, then that pen 2 must meet the objective of the decision making problem more satisfactory, or it must maximize the decision maker. So it must maximize the need of the decision maker more satisfactory. That one is okay. Hiyo haina mambo. That one is quite okay. Now, from our Word document, if you can go to our Word document, nimeshare. Now, they were talking about decision. What is a decision? Now, from that Word document, they say is the act of choosing among all the alternative considered. So the word decision means choosing the action among all alternative. And which alternative do you have? So, for example, you have pen 1, pen 2, and pen 3. Now, choosing either of the three is what we call a decision. So, choosing among the available course of action. So, the word is choosing among the available course of action is what we call the decision. It's what we call the decision. Now, but the process of selecting. Now, when you talk about the process now, the process of selecting those course of action, now that is what we call the decision making or the decision making process. So when we are talking about the decision process, we are talking about the decision making. So that is the same thing. That one is fine. Hiyo haina mambo. Aya, from our document, we have some definition of terms which we can talk about. Now features first before we talk about the what are some of the features of decision making process. What are some of the features? So your features, you get them from your characteristics, and one of them is it has set of possible course of action. It has set of all possible course of action. So it has a state of all the possible course of action, or the alternatives. So it must have that one. That was number one. Those are the options. So remember, we have said those are the options. Now, let us put here list of alternatives. It has list of alternatives. Those are the items available to choose from, and it must have payoffs. It must have payoffs. And you know what is payoff? Now, payoff, we can define what is payoff in this case, because we shall be using this word more often. Now, refers to the net benefit. Refers the net benefit derived from a decision-making process. Process. Now, i.e., You can talk about a profit or a loss. So mostly it is in monetary values. So in most cases, it is in monetary value. Monetary value. Tunasema refers to the net benefit. So the keyword here is the word net benefit. Remember, when you talk about net benefit, you're talking about total revenue minus total cost. That's what we are talking about. Either profit or loss. Either profit or loss. So total revenue minus total cost. So that's a payoff. Now, when you the word payoff is another name of profit in short. It's another name of profit or loss. It's another name of profit or loss. So if the company is making profit, then the payoff is a positive figure. If the company is making a loss, then the payoff is a negative figure. Now, term use. Now, for term use, I'm not going to write them. I'm going to discuss two. Now, the first one is a decision maker. So, term used in this topic is a decision maker. Now, this is a person responsible for making decision. So, you have the notes. Nimewatumia kwa group. Mwenye hajapata atanitext after class nimtumie. Sawa sawa? Now, the first term tunasema is the first term is the word decision maker. A decision maker. A decision maker. Just a minute. Think hapo iko sawa. Now, a decision maker tumesema is a person responsible for making decision. Now, refer to an individual or a group or organization. It can be a person, it can be an individual, it can be a group of people, or it can be a company.
Guys, like, I know this. Well, is he okay?
Yes. Mute. So it can be a person or an individual responsible for making decision. That one is okay. Number two, we have the decision problem. Now, decision problem is what we were terming from our part here. This one, decision making problem. Now, it can be categorized as an objective. Now, what is the problem and what are we trying to solve? That is our objective, and that one is our decision making problem. Now, it's a situation in which the decision maker must choose between several alternatives, course of action, each with its own risk and reward. Now, that is the decision making problem. Decision making problem, a situation where the decision maker must make a decision from various alternatives available, but those alternatives are associated with various risks and reward. Now, because of that one, now this person has a lot of problems to choose. Now, do I choose the one with more return, with lower risk, or do I choose the one with the lower risk, more risk, or more return? So there's this problem. Now you are not sure of which kind of a situation should I choose, and therefore you are in a particular decision making problem. So you have various alternatives. Should I produce pen 1, 2, or 3? So you are unsure which one will work for you. So in that case, you are in a decision making problem. So a situation where the decision maker has various lists of alternatives or the course of action available, but he is unsure which decision to make because various decisions have various risk and reward. So because of that one, then you become unsure. And that one is what we call the decision making problem. Now, let's go to alternatives. Let's go to kuna some items here. So decision making can be classified into two. We have structured decision problem and unstructured. Now, for structured, you have the clear understanding of the problem. So when you talk about a structured decision-making problem, this is where the decision maker has a clear understanding of the problem. That one is okay. But it is within your document. When we talk about unstructured, now you don't have sufficient information. So in short, you have imperfect information about the market, and therefore making decision becomes a big problem. So the first one, structured, you have the clear understanding of the market, and therefore making decision is easy. For unstructured, the market is complex. You might not have all the information required to make decision. So in that case, we term it unstructured. And that one is fine. Let us move on. Alternatives or course of action. Now, what's alternative or course of action? Sometimes also called strategies. So this one. So alternative, also called course of action, sometimes also called strategies. Now, what are those? Now, refers. Now, if we natumia the word now refers to multiple possible courses of action that a decision maker must choose from. Now, you can remove the word possible course of action. Wicked refers to all the options available to the decision maker. So refers to all the options. So this one, alternatives or the course of actions or strategies. So refers to all the possible options available to the decision maker and where he or she can choose from. So refers to all the possible options available. Now come on, produce pen 1, 2, and 3. So pen 1, 2, and 3 are all the available course of action or the available options available that it must choose from. Now, if we choose pen 2, then that is the decision that this person has decided to make. Now, that one is okay. We move forward. Now, state of nature, sometimes called event or outcome. So we have state of nature, state of nature, state of nature, state of nature. Sometimes wanaitanga outcome or events. Now this one, it is accompanied with probabilities. So this one is accompanied with probabilities. Now, what is this state of nature? Now, a good example of state of nature, it is the condition in the economy. We can have favorable condition, worse condition, or most likely condition. So those conditions is what we call the state of nature. Now, let us define them. Now, refer to all the possible events. Refer to all the possible future events that the decision maker must develop and exhaust. So refer to all the future events. So refer to all the future events that the decision maker must develop and exhaust. Na tumesema i.e. you have favorable, worse, and moderate events. Now, the decision maker must exhaust all these conditions so that if we produce at a favorable condition, what will be the payoff? If we produce at worse condition, what will be the payoff? And if we produce at moderate condition, what will be the payoff? Then he can choose from either of those. That one is okay. So when you talk about state of nature, we are talking about the events or the outcome. Now, objectives. Now, the objective, now, for a decision maker has only two objectives. Either to minimize the cost or to maximize profit. Now, for objective, and you can term it as a decision problem. You can term it as decision-making problem. Now we have two options, either to minimize cost or to maximize profits. Now, this is a situation where the decision maker is unsure of what to choose. So that is the objective in short. Now, if it's to minimize cost, now which strategy or which alternative should we use to minimize the cost? If it's making profit, now which alternative should we choose to maximize profit? Now, the decision maker is unsure when we talk about the objective, and therefore we can term it the same as decision making problem. So zinaendana, but that one is okay. But remember, we have two objectives, either to minimize the cost or to maximize profit. Now, uncertainty. This is a situation where the decision maker is unsure what will happen in the future. So uncertain. So this is a situation where the decision maker is unsure what will happen in the future. Now, if this person is unsure of what will happen in the future, then he must decide on the state of nature. This one. So inarudisha hapa. He or she must exhaust all the possible state of nature that might occur in the future. So uncertainty is accompanied with probabilities. So uncertainty is accompanied with probability. So a situation where the decision maker is unsure what will happen in the future. Payoffs, sometimes we need an outcome here. So payoffs can also be called outcome. Tumesema where state of nature. So, but let's go with the word payoff alone. Now, what's payoff? Now, payoff is the fact the net benefit derived from a decision-making process. That one is fine. Now, what about conditional payoff? Conditional payoff. What are the conditional payoff? Now, this one is very, very important because in an exam, they might tell you to define what is a conditional payoff. Now, for conditional payoff, mostly when we talk about conditional payoff, inakuja wakati tunaongea about decision tree. Conditional payoff, that is how it comes. Conditional payoff. Now, this one, when we talk about conditional payoff, it is when we are talking about decision tree. We can talk about decision tree baadaye, but refers to the benefits, refers to net benefits. Now, we might not use the word net. Let's use the word to benefit. Let's use the word benefit. Because kama tujatoa cost, but you can use the word net benefit. But let's use the word benefit. So refer to the benefit of each decision node. Of each, ndaonesha venye inakuja. Decision node. Now, node represents state of nature. Node represents state of nature in decision tree. In decision tree. Now, when we talk about the node represents the state of nature in the decision tree. Refer to the state of nature in the decision tree. That one is very, very important. That one is very, very, very important. Now, that benefit from each node is what we categorize it as a conditional payoff. And I will show how you calculate it. And a good example of this one is expected monetary value. Tutaonyesha how to calculate expected monetary value later. But this is a good example. So wakati kwa unafanya expected monetary value from a decision tree, then I'll be showing you the conditional payoffs. So from each node, then remember the nodes are represented by a circle. So nodes are represented by circle. So the nodes or the state of nature are represented by the circle. That one is okay. Now, do you have another term? Let me see if you have another term from our Word document. Yes, payoff table. Payoff table. Now, payoff table refers to presentation of payoffs in form of a table. And this one is what we shall be using most of the time. Actually, either a payoff table or decision tree. Now, refer to presentation. Refer to presentation of decision. Okay, sorry. Refer to presentation of payoffs of various alternatives in form of a table. In form of a table. So refer to the presentation of the payoffs in form of a table. Now, I will show you how a payoff table looks like. For now, just let's define it the way it is. So, but there is a standard that we shall use to represent a payoff table. Now, we can do it. So that tumalizane nao mara moja, tuseme tulimalizana nayo. So allow me to rub huku juu. Now, and make sure you follow very keenly. Make sure you follow very keenly of how this table looks like. So this one is very, very important. This one is very, very important. So in an exam hii ndio wanakuwa wanatumia kunini kutrick watu. So hii ndio wanatumia kutrick watu. So in case you are not very keen, utajipata umechora your table vibaya, na hapo ndio wanakuangusha immediately without thinking. Now this is how the table should look like ukichora kwa exam. Now let me just draw a box. So now I will draw a box. So you're quite very keen. Now, in this case, hapa, kuna option. Now, the options are the alternatives. Remember we said the alternative. Now, for example, we said we had to pen 1, pen 2, pen 3. Now, your option is always vertically. So, upper options is always vertically. Then we have the outcome. Outcome sipe inaonekana. Hapo.
Niletee mashida. Si nilipoteza ID hiyo time ya exam bana.
Mute huyo jamaa. State of nature. Always. Mute tafadhali huyo jamaa. So the outcome or the state of nature is always horizontal. It's always horizontal. For example, we can have good, moderate, worse. Good, moderate, and worse. Now, I hope inaonekana. Now, the outcome is a state of nature is always horizontal. So good, moderate, worse, or depending on the examiner, the word atatumia. Unapata examiner mwingine anatumia best, worse, or whichever form. Borake, that's the outcome of the state of nature. And remember, it's accompanied with probability. So unapata for good, unapata 0.2, 0.5, and 0.3 sometimes. Then hapa ndani inakuanga your payoffs. So payoffs inakuanga hapo. For example, you can have 100, 200, 0, 300, 400, 100, minus 50. It can be also 500, 300, minus 100. That's a good example of a payoff table. Now, a payoff table refers to the presentation of payoff of various alternatives in form of a table. In form of a table. And that's a good example. Your option is always vertically. Your outcome or state of nature is always horizontally. It's always horizontally. That is very important. Kindly make sure you remember that one for the purpose of examination. Now, you remember the table. Let us talk about decision tree. Decision tree. This is another one which is important. Decision tree. So in case nipotee, mseme. Now you have decision tree. So you have the notes there. Unajua hiyo haina mambo sana. Now decision tree, let's define it. Now this is the diagrammatic. We found the diagrammatic presentation of decision making process of decision making process in form of a tree. In form of a tree. Now for this one, decision alternative is donated by decision. The decision node inakaa hivi. Then let's do number one. Now you kumbuke the alternatives are represented by the square, which is called the decision node, which is called the decision node, which is called, so kindly mute, which is called the decision node. Then we have state of nature. Now, state of nature is represented by the chance nodes. State of nature. So, state of nature, which is the outcome. State of nature is represented. State of nature is represented by chance node, which is the kwa niambia hapo nyuma sako. Nakumbuka nikwambia state of nature inakuwa divided by the circle, which is the circle. I think that one is fine. Hiyo haina mambo. So kuna mwenye anasema we did not finalize on probability. That one is okay. Probability tutafanya. So the reason why nimeamua kwa sababu probability ni haraka hizo topic tunafanya na wiki moja tunamaliza. Nimeamua nifanye hizi topic kubwa tumalizane nazo kabisa, so that hata mkwe ready. Hizo zingine kumaliza ni haraka, so nimeamua niende na hizi for now. So that tumaliza hizi topic kubwa linear programming, decision theory na time series. Tukishamaliza so hizo zingine tulikuwa tumebakisha part kidogo tumalizie. So don't worry about probability. The probability we shall finish it as soon as we finish decision theory, linear programming and time series. So don't worry about it. So itakuwa sawa. Now, I want us to go directly. Do we go to past paper? Now, let me check from our PDF, from our document, if there's something Jasema. Now let us see regret. Yes, or opportunity loss. So regret, we have another definition, which is called regret or opportunity loss. So don't worry about what probability. Tutamalizia tu. So don't worry about it. Wacha tufanye hizi ngumu kwanza. Hizi za topics zenye lazima zikuje kwa exam. Kama hii lazima ikuje. So wacha tufanye hizo kwanza tumalizane nazo kabisa, so that we can now look at the rest. Now, what's a regret or what's an opportunity loss? Now, refers to a situation where the decision maker makes a regret after making a decision which is not favorable. Now, unapata that a decision maker alichoose a particular decision, but wakati and the outcome has occurred. This is refer to a situation where the decision maker makes a regret after making a decision which is not favorable, and the outcome has occurred. Now, for example, if you are a decision maker, you make a particular decision, then baadaye ukuja realize hapana, this was not the decision I was supposed to make. So una regret mbona ulifanya that decision. So that regret is what we call the opportunity loss or the regret. Now that is what we call the opportunity loss or the regret of making that decision. Now from our Word document, it refers to the difference between the highest possible profit for the event minus actual profit. This one is very important. It is the difference between highest profits minus actual profits. So it's the difference between the highest profits minus the actual profits. So it's the difference between the highest profit minus actual profits. I think that one is okay. There's a difference between the highest profits minus actual profits. Decision making process, we shall give them later. Ama tuzipatiane sahi. We shall come back to that later. Utility theory. Utility theory, that one we shall do it in advanced level. So we ignore that for now. Sensitivity analysis, that one we shall do it in advance. We ignore now. Stages or type of decision. Let us see stages or type of decisions. Stages or type of decision. Stages or type of decision. Now, because you have the notes, hakuna haja niandike the stages. We can just explain as we move on. So we can just explain those stages as we move on to avoid kuandika sana. And this pen inachafua keyboard sana ya black. So I need to change this pen. Or maybe change the ink. Now we have two stage. We have the single stage from your Word document. If you go to your Word document, we have two stages. We have the single stage decision, and number two, we have the multiple stage decision. So type of decision making stages, or type of decision making stages. So we have the single stage decision, and we have the multiple stage decision. Now for single stage, it is where we use the payoff table in most cases. So ukiona you are doing a question where you are using a payoff table, just know that that one is a single stage, meaning one outcome does not give rise to other outcome. So one outcome does not give rise to other outcome. So this is where they just make us one outcome, and it is conclusive. This is where the decision has one outcome and it is conclusive, meaning a particular decision might not lead to another decision, or might not make another decision to arise. Then you have the multiple stage. That one is where we use the tree diagram. Now for tree diagram, it is where one outcome leads to another outcome. So one outcome leads to another outcome. Tutafanya swali, I will show you how that one is going to happen. So one outcome automatically leads to another outcome. You have the Word document, so nasonga. Mimi niko tena kwa maswali. Tena nifike kwa maswali. Now hapa decision making environment. Decision making environment. So hapo ndo nitaanzia. So that is where hesabu zinaanzia. Decision making environment. So mimi nadhani ya kwanza, decision of a risk environment. Mimi nadhani hii ya kwanza, decision of risk environment. Decision of risk environment. Now, or decision making and a risk. You can also call it decision making and a risk. Now, in this situation, more than one state of nature exists, but the decision maker has information that will fully support the assignment of the probabilities values of each state of nature. So tunasema this is a decision or a situation where more than one state of nature exists. Let us write it. So can we define it? Say this is a situation where more than more than one outcome exists, more than one outcome exists, and the decision maker has full information, of various state of nature to support his or her decision. That is okay. So a situation where more than one outcome exists and the decision maker, but it's supposed to be decision maker, and decision maker has full information of various state of nature to support his or her decision. Not more than one. Sorry. A situation where one state or where a situation where one outcome exists. So it's supposed to be one outcome, not more than one. A situation where one outcome exists and the decision maker has full information about various state of nature to support his or her decision. Now, from our document, the one we talk about group is saying a situation where more than one state of nature. Now, for state of nature it must be more than one. So that's why I say the word various. This one supposed to be various, meaning state of nature must be more than one. Now, a situation where we have more than one state of nature, which is various state of nature, to support the decision maker problem. But remember, the outcome is one. So a situation where one outcome exists and the decision maker has full information of various state of nature to support his or her decision. So outcome ni moja, but we have several state of nature. Now, events have probabilistic outcomes. So events, another thing you need to know is that events or state of nature have probabilistic events. What other characteristics can you find in that state of nature? Decision maker has knowledge. Decision maker has full knowledge of the market. This one is okay. Let us see type of the decision making under this environment. Number A, expected monetary value. Expected monetary value, and we say this is the average payoff derived from various strategies or possible courses of action or possible courses of action or alternatives. Now, how do you get EMV? expected monetary value is equal to summation of payoff times probability. Let's go to our past paper. Tuanze na hiyo. So do you have any questions? So EMV is what we call the expected monetary value. And tunasema is a situation where we get the average or the expected payoffs of each alternative. And for you to get EMV is a payoff multiply with probabilities. Now, let's go to our first paper and see if we had any question concerning decision tree. Now, August 2024, do you have any question? August 2024. August 2024. Yes, we have it, but that one is the decision. That one is decision tree. So if you find a decision tree, we can do this question. So this one is the decision tree. Decision tree. This one is decision tree. Ndio tutafanya baadaye. So we ignore that one. So tunafanya ya table. Payoff table. So under risk. Now let's go to another sitting. So hiyo tutafanya baadaye. April 2024. April 2024. April 2024. Do you have a question? Yes. April 2024. Question number 6B. April 2024. 6B. So April 2024. 6B. April 2024. 6B. So April 2024, which is number 6B. Question number 6B. Now, number 6B nasemaje? Now, a property, umefika hapo, that's on page 8. Juu kama mnatumia same na yangu. Umefika hapo? So mkipata mniambie tafadhali. Kama hujapata, so I'm giving you 1 minute. So kindly 1 minute. Uko umetafuta past paper. So open. So mkipata mniambie. Just type. So nataka tusonge sasa, kutoka hapa ni hesabu. Kabiri kadogo hesabu mpaka tumalize hii topic. Tumesema nikiweza tutamaliza, ni tumeagree we can meet in the afternoon from 5. Tunataka tumalize hii kiwe also as soon as possible in the next 1 week, in the next 2 weeks. Kwa tumemaliza. Tukiwa amepata hiyo swali na akaweza kusoma. And then we shall have revision also. So tukimaliza syllabus, we shall have our revision. So that when you maybe kuna some item wako elewa, but capture from that point. So tutajikaza pia kumaliza haraka. So the sooner we finish earlier, the better, so that we can have massive revision. So you have like less than 1 minute to the rest. Someone to volunteer at Some. Belinda, naona yeye ndio jina yake na pia ya kwanza. Belinda, unaweza tu volunteer?
I'm not in a position to read the question.
Hauna swali?
Because nikitoka natoka class, sijui nimetamani.
Okay. Sawa. So in the next 1 minute, I'll read the question.
Swali yako, lakini if I go back and
It's okay, Belinda. It's okay. I will read the question. So make sure you have the question. At least you can access. Kama you have another gadget, if you have another gadget, you can access from another gadget so that you don't miss the question. You can access from another gadget if you have.
natoka
Sawa. Now, nimepata swali. So let me read it. Usikuwa nimefungua. Now let me read the question. Now, a property developer has 1 million, to invest in a new property. The developer has a choice of 3 different properties going on the same price in a different town. One in Nairobi, one in Nakuru, one in Nanyuki. Now, those are the alternatives or the strategies. So you be very keen. With those 3 properties, his ultimate profit depends on whether the economy is strong, weak, or mixed. Those are the state of nature or the outcome. Now, he estimates that the payoff matrix representing his monthly profits in 1,000 shillings is as follows. Now, I'm not interested in part 1 requirement. Max, I'm not interested in that one for now. Maximin, I'm not interested. Minimax, regret, I'm not interested. Number 4, suppose the investor reads the newspaper that there's 50% chance for weak economy, 20% chance for mixed economy, and 30% chance for strong economy. Advise on the best strategy. Now, in that case, which strategy you use EMT. So part 5. So we answer part 5. Part 5. So part 5. Now, remember what we said about the table? This is how the table should look like. When you draw your table, so we said hapa the option na hapa ni outcome. Now our option we have, I think Nanyuki, Nairobi, sijui na wapi. Let me go back to the question. Now wamesema we had weak, mixed na strong. So we have weak, mixed, na strong. Now weak wamesema ni 0 point. So part 3. We are doing part 4. This question is tunafanya part 4. Sababu ndio wanauliza from EMV part 4. So 0.5 0.2 na 0.3. 0.2 na 0.3. Now option tuko na Nairobi na Nyuki. Nairobi, Nakuru na Nyuki. Nairobi na Nyuki. Hai, yuko Nairobi. Oh, Nakuru na Nyuki. Nakuru na Nanyuki. So Nakuru. Now remember the figures are in the payoffs are in 1,000. So that one is you need to know that one. But the payoffs are in 1,000. So we have 85, 45, 60. 85, 45, 60. We have 85, 45, 60. 85, 45, 60. 30, 45, 90. 30, 45, 95. 30, 45, 95. 75, 185. 75, 110, 85. I think you have to run your table. I think everyone can see that table. So 85, 45, 60, 30, 45, 95, 75. That one is okay. Now, let us do that question. Now, the first one, we calculate the EMV. So to make which choice? In this case, we shall use EMV. Now, EMV, unajua ni summation of payoff times probability. Summation of payoff times probability. So tuanze na Nai. So for Nairobi, what will be the payoff? So payoff ni 85 times. So 85 times 0.5. Haya, 30 times 0.2. 30 times 0.2. 75 times 0.3. Now hiyo itakuwa ngapi? Give me the answer. What would be the answer? So 85 times 0.3 to 20.5 plus 30 times 0.2. 75 times 0.3. Unapata ngapi? Not Belinda. Galileo. The answer ni ngapi? Galileo. Now the answer is 71. So we have 71. So 71. Naenda na Nakuru. So 45 times 0.5. Then 45 times 0.2. 110 times 0.3. Tunachukua 45 times 0.5, 45 times 0.2, 110 times 0.3. So what would be the answer? 45 times 0.3, 0.5, 45 times 0.2, 110 times 0.3, 64.5. Tumepata 64.5. Na Nyuki Nanyuki 60 times 0.5, 95 times 0.2, 85 times 0.3 itakuwaje? 60 times 0.5 95 times 0.2 85 times 0.3 74.5 74.5 74.5 unapata hivyo? Now sawa sawa, advice, choose Nanyuki. Choose Nanyuki. So we will choose the one with the highest EMV because it has the highest. It has the highest EMV. So choose Nanyuki because it has the highest EMV. Choose Nanyuki because it has the highest expected monetary value. So the decision rule for expected monetary value, you choose the one with the highest EMV. You choose the one with the highest EMV. Now, let us go to our question. So suppose the investor reads a newspaper that there is 50% chance of weak economy, 20% chance for mixed economy, and 30% on the strong. Advise on the best strategy. Now, hapo, just use the EMV. So EMV will be the best way to use it. So remember EMV. So that's number one. Expected monetary value, part A. Let's go to part B. Part B, let us talk about expected opportunity loss. Expected opportunity loss. Expected opportunity loss. Number B, expected opportunity loss. Inakuwa E or L. Expected opportunity loss. Now, this one, when we talk about expected opportunity loss, we are talking about the regrets. We are talking about the regrets. Now, before the average measure of the regrets of making a wrong decision, we can say refers to average regrets or opportunity loss of making a wrong decision, of making a wrong decision. So when we talk about expected opportunity loss, before the average regrets or the average opportunity loss of making a wrong decision, of making a wrong decision. Now, steps. Now we have some steps here. Steps followed. Now, step number one, compute regrets. Compute the regrets. Step number two, we shall compute the regrets. Step number two, determine expected regrets. Then the last step, number three, find the value, the VOI. VOI means value of information. Now, then you say it is the lower of the EOL. Now, tunasema step number 1, calculate regrets. Number 2, determine the expected regrets. Step number 3, find the VOI, value of information. Find value of information. And that one is the lower of the EOL, which is the lower of EOL. Now, allow me to wrap this one, Papa Ju. So we do part 4 of that question. Part 4 of that question. Sikuvuta zote. So the question is for AP 2024. Acha niandike pale juu. So April 2024, which is number 6B. So step number 1 tunasema, step number 1, we compute regrets. Compute regrets. We compute regrets. So nasema we are supposed to compute regrets. So we need to come up with another table. So tunafanya part 4, 5. I think it's part 5. Part 5. So part 5 alikuwa anasema, what is the part 5? Part 5 anasema calculate the expected value of information. That's the VOI. That's the VOI. Calculate the value of information. That's the VOI in short. So anakuambia you find the VOI. Now let's do it. Hapa. Now we need to come up with another table. So we shall allow me to draw another table. So we need to come up with another table. Hivyo. So that we can find the regrets from another table. So that we can find the regrets. Now let us see. So tulikuwa na Nai, Nakuru, and Nanyuki. So we have the option. We have the outcome. So upon week, mixed, and then we have strong, 0.3, 0.2, 0.5. Now, step number 1, we are supposed to compute regrets. That's step number 1. Now, how do you compute the regrets? Now, the regrets is the difference between, nilikuwa nimwambia pale nyuma, someone nilikuwa nimwambia, but the regrets is the difference between the highest profit minus actual. We remember? So we said it's the highest profit minus actual. But you check it vertically. you check it vertically. Ukiteremka chini hivi. Vertically. Ukiteremka. Now tuanze na ya kwanza 16,000. Tuanze na ya kwanza. So the first one, which one is the highest? Payoff 85. Now 85 you minus 85 is 0. 85 the highest minus the next 45. So 85 minus 45 is 40. Aya, the highest 85, the option is 60. 85 minus 60. So 85 minus 60 is 25. Amekuja hapo naangalia the highest ni 95. So 95 minus 95 is 0. 95 minus 45. 95 minus 45 is 50. 50. Then 95 minus 30. 95 minus 30 is 65. Is 60. Unakuja hapo naangalia the highest ni 110. So 110 minus 110 is 0. So the rest 110 minus 75 is 35. Then 110 minus 85. 85. 20. 25. Now the expected EOF is equal summation of the regrets times probability. So tunaanza na the first one, Nairobi, then Nanyuki, Nakuru, Nanyuki. Tunaanza na kwanza Nairobi ni 0 times 0.5, 65 times 0.2, 35 times 0.3. Then Nakuru 40, yes, 0.5, then 50 times 0.2, then 0 times 0.3, then 25 times 0.5, 0 times 0.2, then 25 times 0.3. So give me the answers. Give me the answers. Give me the answers. Give me the answers for that one. So the first one, ya kwanza ni 0.65 times 0.2, that's 5 times 0.3. 23.5. Are you getting 23.5? I have 40 times 0.5, 50 times 0.2, then 0 times a year. Then it's 30. Then 25 times 0.5, 25 times 0.3, 20. Now you pick the minimum. Now for EOF, you pick the one with the least regrets. So remember, our objective is to minimize on regrets. So now to pick it kidogo. This one has the minimum regrets. So advice, pick Nanyuki, because pick Nanyuki because it is characterized with less regrets. So pick Nanyuki because it is characterized with less regrets, and that one is the value information. So and then can say 20 is the value of information. There's another way you can do this one. You can find this 20. There's another way which you can decide to use to apply the same answer, which is 20. Should we try it? Let us try it here. So allow me to wrap this one.
information.
Now, another way which you can do this question, part 5, statistic part 5, alternative. Another way you can approach this question. So there's another way which you can approach this question to find the VOI. Now let me show you. So kama ukumbuki hii ya kutafuta regrets, there's another way. Let us see if we shall get the same answer as 20. Now that's way, another way, VOI. So if this one is an OR, you can use this method. So you can use this one, 20, which is a part of information, or you can use this one, which is equals to EMV of the best minus EMV of the chosen. And from our question, our chosen EMV here hapa, we choose 74.5. Now, this one we have it, 74.5, our chosen. Now, EMV for the best is equals to summation of best payoff times probability. So tuanze. So for the first haya nilivuta ndio hizi hapa. So tunatumia hizi. Hizi ndio zilikuwa our payoff from the table. Ilikuwa hizi. Ndio hizi. Kama unaziona hapa. So nimevuta hiyo table. Nilikuwa hapa. Hizo payoff zinakaa hivyo. Now tunateremka tukiangalia chini. Tunateremka. Ndio tukianza na huyu. Which one is the best? 85 obviously is the best for the first one. And the probability of the first one, which is 0.5. Plus the second one. The second one, the best hapa ni, we have 30, 45, and 95. Obviously 95 is the best one. And the probability of the second one is 0.2. Plus the third one, the best hapa, we have 75, 110, and 85. Obviously 110 is the best, and 0.3. Now, what is the EMV for the best? What is the EMV for the best? So 85 times 0.2, 0.5, sorry, 95 times 0.2, 110 times 0.3. So 94.5. 94.5. Now, VOI, itakuwa ni 94.5 minus tulichukua pale 74.5. Inafaa tupatie 20. Is it the same? Is it the same? Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yes. So that's another way. That is part 4. You can do it either using the EOL or the V or I. Or the V or I. Let's go to our notes. Tuangaika tumemaliza the condition of a risk environment. Aha. I think tumemaliza. So value of information will be the same as the best. Now for coefficient of variation, we shall do it when we'll be doing another question. Now this one, let me show you something. So this one, EMV best is also called value of perfect information. Then EMV chosen. EMV chosen. Inaitwaje? From our notes, inaitwa value value without perfect information. Therefore, another formula for you to get a VOI, the difference between the value of perfect information minus the value without perfect. So value of perfect information. So this one is where you have the perfect information minus the value without perfect information. So that's another formula which is in the Word document pale, which is the same. I think that one haina shida. Now, the rest tutafanya baadaye. Confusion risk and risk by reducing confusion variation tutafanya kwa derivation tree. Haina wasiwasi. That one haina wasiwasi. So tumesema VOI is the difference between the EMV of the best minus EMV of the chosen, or you can say that the VOI is the value of perfect information minus the value without perfect information, or the lower of the EOL. You can notes pale. So make sure you go and start the notes again. Itakusaidia sana sana sana. Now, let's go to the next decision, number 2. Decision of uncertainty environment. So the number 2 hapa. Let's go to the decision of uncertainty environment. Decision of uncertainty environment. Decision of uncertainty environment. So nivuta hii, let me just do away with it. So hapo umeandika ama ni okay, I'm giving you 1 minute. Malizie hapo. Nimevuta ya juu, hata vile uko umeshaandika. Aha. Umefika wapi? So decision of uncertainty. Decision of uncertainty. That is our next move. Decision of uncertainty. Decision of uncertainty. That one is our next move. Okay. So kama naona screen. Nichukue niko dunia yangu. But iko sawa now. So at least we do constructive things. Now allow me to go away with this now. So the decision under uncertainty. That's our next move. Let us see. Now, decision under conditions of risk, not risk, uncertainty. Naona vizuri. Oh, sawa, nimeona. Sorry. Nijiangalia kwani nimetuma decision of uncertainty. Uncertainty. Now this is where we have one outcome, but we are unsure about the market. See, this is a situation. This is a situation where the decision has one outcome. This is where the decision has one outcome, and the decision maker do not have a perfect knowledge of the market, i.e. talk of state of nature do not have probabilities. Na hiyo tofauti na hiyo ingine. For risk, state of nature ziko na probabilities. Na tulikuwa tumeona 0.3, 0.2, blah blah blah. Now in this case, the state of nature does not have probability, and therefore the decision maker is unsure or doesn't have the perfect information about the market. Doesn't have the perfect information about the market. So they include number one, talk of max criterion. Max criterion. Now, this is where the decision maker is optimistic about the future, i.e. he or she expects that best is going to happen. Then you can say it involves maximizing the maximum payoffs. It involves maximizing the maximum payoff. Now let's continue with that question of ours that we were doing. Let us go to that question that we were doing. Now we need to come up with a table. Now this is the table. It's the same table too. Ilikuwa nayo. The same table. Ningejua singevuta. But it's fine. This table sivuti tena. Mpaka tumalize swali kabisa. This table, we have the option, then outcome, or the state of nature. Now we have a 0.2. So mean like I go to direct. You know what is 0.2? So 0.2 is sorry. Yes, in a state of nature. So it happens direct. Weak. And then green get one mixed. Mixed and strong. Mixed. Then he had strong. So tulikuwa na Nai, Nakuru, na Nanyuki. Hivyo. Tulikuwa inaenda aje? 85, 45, 60. 85, 45, 60. 85, 45, 60. 30, 45, 95. 30, 45, 95. 30, 45, 95. 75, 110, 85. 75, 110, 95. Now in this question, let me give you a clue. Now for you to do this question, tumesema you maximize the maximum payoff. So now from your right, get the left. So can see from your right, what maximum? So you choose maximum, then maximum. So tunasema hapa choose maximum. Choose maximum. Now, Nai. So you nasa hivi. So tunasema tunaanzia maximum. From the right to left. So kwa Nai, which one is the maximum? The maximum hapa naona ni 85. 85 is the maximum. Aya, kwa Nakuru naona 110. Kwa Nanyuki 95. Naona 90. 95. So tunasema maximum, then you choose maximum. In this case, I choose Nanyuki, Nakuru. So choose Nakuru because it maximizes. It maximizes the maximum payoffs. This one is in payoffs. Maybe in 1,000. That one is okay. So that's max. So max. It was part 1 from that question. So that one was the question for it was August 2024, number 6B. Question number 6B. I think it is August 2024. Okay, I think that one is enough. No, August is April. April 2024. So April 2024. And I'll go to the second one. For the second one, let's talk about minimax criterion, minimax criterion. Now this is where the decision maker is optimistic, is pessimistic. Is pessimistic. We see this is where the decision maker is pessimistic. Pessimistic. This is where the decision maker is pessimistic about the future. About the future, i.e., he or she assumes that the worst is going to happen. He or she assumes that the worst is going to happen. He or she assumes that the worst is going to happen. It involves maximizing the minimum payoff. So it involves maximizing the minimum payoff. You can say it involves maximizing the minimum payoff. So it involves, let me see from the Word document, wanasemaje. So let's go to our Word document. Now, for max, not max, minimax. So it involves maximizing the minimum payoff. That one is okay. Let us see in this question. So let me use this one. That one. So what you do, you locate the maximum. So tunaanzia nyuma mbele. So tunaanzia nyuma from right to left. So you locate the maximum, then minimum. Tunaanza na maximum. So maximum. The maximum hapa ni 75, 85, 110, 95. So 85, the maximum, 110, 95. Then we locate the minimum. Now the minimum in this case is that one, 85. Now we can say choose nine because it maximizes the minimum payoffs. Choose nine because it minimizes the minimum payoffs, because it minimizes the minimum payoff. From our question, Let us see ilikuwa which part. Ilikuwa part gani? From our question that was part that one hawakuuliza. Now max mean regrets. Max mean criterion. What about max mean? Max mean. So max mean criterion. Max mean criterion. Max mean criterion. We say it involves considering that alternative that minimizes maximum payoffs. It involves considering that alternative that minimizes the maximum payoff. That minimizes the maximum payoffs. Let us see. So you pick the minimum, then maximum. So you pick minimum, pick minimum, pick minimum. So minimum we have 30 as the minimum. We have 45. Then on a minimum is 60. Then of that one, pick maximum. So we shall pick 60. So conclusion, pick Nanyuki because it minimizes maximum payoffs, which is it reduces the regrets in short. So which in short, maximum. Let us talk about the maximum. It minimizes the maximum regrets. So without coming with the regrets, you choose Nanyuki because it minimizes the maximum payoff. In fact, our payoff now here is the regrets. You can use the word regrets. You can use the word regrets. Number 4, talk of max mean regrets criterion. In this case, you need to calculate the regrets. Now you need to calculate the regrets. Then from the regrets, you can make a decision. So you need to calculate the regrets. Now from the regrets, you pick the maximum, then minimum. Now you're going to calculate regrets somewhere along the way. Can you give me the answers for the regrets? Let's do it here, Ju. Ndio tulikuwa tumefanya regrets, but that one tulifanya ilikuwa ya EOL. Now ataka kufika kwa EOL just kwa the regrets zenyewe. Now is the regrets. What were the figures for the regrets? Now, maximum, I mean, regret. Now, to call them calculate regrets. In case of figures are regrets. So this one max mean regret. Then I can do direct. So, screen. Let me go back. The meeting. Sorry for that. So nilikuwa naambia mnipe figures za regrets. Now tumesema max mean regret criterion is a situation where the person might experience regrets. The situation where the person might experience regrets. Now, let me see what we can see. But notes ziko pale. So minimax. It's supposed to be minimax, not max min. Supposed to be minimax. Minimax. Regret criterion. So this is where the decision maker might experience regret. So this is where the decision maker might experience regrets. And you see the regret is the difference between the maximum payoff minus actual. So we're going to calculate. So Nairobi is 0 hapa. Supposed to be 0. Then 85 minus 45. 40 ilikuwa hivyo. I hope ilikuwa ni hiyo. 25. Sijui kama alikuwa mmepata hivi. 0 50. Then you have 65. Then 110 minus 75. 35. 0. Then 110 minus 95. 15. Now we need to pick maximum. Maximum. Then minimum. So from our line. Once we have the regrets, maximum, then minimum. So maximum happens 65. We have 65, 50, and 25. Then pick minimum. The minimum is 25. Then we say choose Nanyuki because it has the least regrets. Choose Nanyuki because it has the least regrets. Because it has the least regrets. So uncertainty I think tumemaliza hivyo. So the rest of the item iko kwa hiyo theories ziko hapo. Now bado mbili. We can talk about Laplace. Laplace decision. Talk about Laplace decision. Now Laplace, allow me to wrap this one. Laplace, so tubaki na mbili, so tukifanya Laplace tubaki na moja. Then to combine hiyo na decision tree in our next class. Which kama mtakubali tupatane jioni, the better. Wengine mtaamua. So another one, talk about Laplace criterion. Now in this case, the decision involves, this decision involves this decision involves assigning equal probabilities. Assigning equal probabilities. Assigning equal probabilities. So this decision involves assigning equal probabilities. Then choosing the one with the highest. Then choosing the one with the highest average payoff. Tunasema this method involves assigning equal probabilities, then choosing the one with the highest average payoff, then choosing the one with the average, the one with the highest average payoff. So use the original one. So this method involves assigning equal probabilities, then choosing the one with the highest average payoff. So then 85 times equal probability. Kuna kujua equal probability ni ngapi, na hesabu tuko na ngapi? Tuko na weak, mixed na strong. So ni 3. So 1/3. 30 times 1/3. 75 times 1/3. 45 times 1/3. 45 times 1/3. 110 times 1/3. 60 times 1/3. 95 times 1/3. 95 times 1/3. So itakuwa ngapi? So 85 times 1/3 plus 30 times 1/3 plus 75 times 1/3. Mimi napata 63. 23. Next 45 times 1/3. Then 45 times 1/3 plus 110 times 1/3. 56.67. 67. 60 times 1/3. 95 times 1 over 3. 295 times 1 over.
Hiyo ya Nanyuki hapo kwa strong nadhani ni 85.
Ni?
Hiyo Nanyuki hapo kwa strong hapo chini. Nanyuki strong. Hiyo 95 nadhani inafaa kwa 85.
Or this one. Na hapa kwa hivyo itakuwa ngapi hapa? 25.
25.
So, kwa hivyo itabaki 25 bado. So, now choose which one has the maximum. So ndio kuna maximum. We choose Nanyuki because it has the highest average payoff. Now transfer from the who is criterion. So we shall start from that one. We shall start from that part. We shall start from that part. So any question? So according to that question, ya last ya A3, tumejaza kila kitu. We have done everything in that question. We have done everything in that question. So hiyo tumemaliza. So max, tumefanya max min, tumefanya minimax regret, EMV, the value of information. So from the next class, we shall come and look for another question. Then we do it. So any question? Do you have any question? Harriet, hajaongea.
Iko sawa.
So we meet. Tutaongea kwa group if we can meet from 5. Tumalizane na hii topic kabisa. So that we do decision tree. Now that one is okay. Let us meet tomorrow. Let us discuss it in the group.